What's going on, everybody? David here, back with another video. So as we speak, we have Nancy Pelosi, Kevin McCarthy, Mitch McConnell, and Chuck Schumer. They are meeting. They're actually in the same room. This is something I've been asking for the last 6 months. Why aren't they in the same room? Why are they letting the White House, Stephen Mnuchin and Mark Meadows, why are they letting them do the negotiating when they're the legislators? So now we have the legislators in the room. So I'm hoping we're close to something. And we haven't heard any word yet, but I wanted to put this video up because earlier Mitch McConnell was talking about the $748 billion proposal, or at least he was making mention to the fact that if you split the proposal, then maybe we have something that we can start talking about. So take out liability protection, take out state and local funding. And so that's why I want to show you this bipartisan proposal, because we might see a lot of that in this next proposal. And so, like I said, they're talking right now. I don't know how long they're going to be talking, but they've been talking for actually about an hour and a half. So they should be coming to a close pretty soon. So in this video, I just wanted to show you the bipartisan $748 billion proposal. But first off, you guys can do me a favor. Please hit the like button. It does help with the YouTube algorithm. Also, please subscribe to the channel. Hit that little bell notification. That way you'll get notified anytime we put out a video. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at this proposal. And like I said, if there are any changes, I will let you guys know what's going on later tonight. But as of right now, we don't have any word what's going on in this negotiation that they're having right now. Okay, so $748 billion proposal. This is the bipartisan proposal. Now, this is the one that Mitch McConnell initially wasn't going to go with, but then Mitch McConnell did come out a couple of days ago and said, why don't we split it up? Why don't we focus on the things that we agree upon, and then we can work on some of these other things later. So that's why they wanted to split this. The bipartisan group wanted to split this proposal to try to accommodate what Mitch McConnell was asking for. And so it looks like he is open to looking at this. All right, so let's see. Where are we going to start? We'll start right here at the $300 billion for PPP and EIDL. So those are the loans for small business loans, right? And so here we go. Loan forgiveness simplified for borrowers with loans of $150,000 or less, it should say. So loan forgiveness, that's huge for small businesses. So you have an opportunity to get loan forgiveness. That's great. You can get up to $150,000 forgiven. Wow. Okay. $13 billion for food assistance, food banks, and food pantries. So that is good. $13 billion for COVID impacts on farmers, ranchers, growers, and fisheries. $25 billion for rental assistance and eviction moratoriums through January. I believe that's January 31st. I wrote this up really quick. So sorry about that. I might have missed a few things here. But this moratorium will get extended by President Joe Biden. When President-elect Joe Biden becomes president, he can easily extend that, just like President Trump did. Okay, extension of student loan forbearance through April 1st, 2021. $35 billion for healthcare providers and relief fund. And then $7 billion would go to the rural providers. So that is good. $16 billion for testing, tracing, distribution, vaccine development. Vaccine development, really? I mean, it looks like we're at a point now where we have some vaccines. So do they really need all that money or it's not, obviously not all 16 billion is going to go to development, but how much more money do they need for development? That's the question. Okay, $12 billion for CDFI, MDI, targeted emergency investment to help low-income and minority communities. So you have that. $5 billion for substance abuse prevention, treatment, and mental health. So you have money going there. Not too sure how that got in there and how that's COVID related as far as being an emergency. I don't know how they got that in there, but that is in there nonetheless. $82 billion for education funding. And we're going to start with $54 billion for K through 12, $20 billion for higher education, and then $7.5 billion for the governor's fund. So I think that would give the governor an opportunity to use the money in education how he sees fit, or he or she sees fit. $10 billion for child care providers struggling due to COVID-19. $10 billion for broadband, and then they would break that up to $6 billion for state connectivity, and then $3 billion for education connectivity and distance learning. Now you see 6 and 3. Where's the last $1 billion? I don't know. That's not in there. That's why we need the language. That's why we need to see exactly where all the money's going, because when we get these little bullet points, and that's all I'm going off, the little bullet point sheet that everybody's passing around now, then you're missing things. You're missing money here somewhere. So where's that going? All right, $45 billion for transportation, airline, airports, public transit, etc. So for trains and things like that. And this is much needed for the airline industry. They've been asking for some type of funding since October. $10 billion for the U.S. Postal Service, and that would be forgiven. So the CARES Act allotted $10 billion, and it would be forgiven. So that's what that's all about. Repurposed unused Treasury, CARES Act, and PPP funding. This is huge. This is what's getting us this package right now, because it's like over $500 billion is coming from the Federal Reserve, which the Federal Reserve sent it over to the Treasury, and then PPP funding. So a large portion, vast majority of all this money is coming from the CARES Act. So don't be fooled when you think these politicians are like, oh yeah, we're going to create this bill. It's going to be nice and large. A lot of that money is just coming from the CARES Act. And they're adding an additional, I think, well, Bernie Sanders was saying it was $180 billion, but I think it would be a little bit more if you're looking at the numbers here. But nonetheless, it's not that much compared to what we were looking at before. Even the skinny bill, and the skinny bill had some PPP funding, but the skinny bill was $500 billion. This is nowhere near that much as far as is new money. Okay, so allow intelligence and defense contractors to have flexible contracts during COVID. Okay, and then extend UI for 16 weeks at $300 per week. So that's a big one there. That's your enhanced unemployment. You would get that $300 per week, and it'd be extension of 16 weeks there. So that's what we have in the $748 billion proposal. And this is probably, a lot of this is going to be in the next proposal. Now, my question is, since it's $748 billion, and we know the Republicans in the Senate, they want to keep it under $1 trillion, you can still add stimulus checks to that. You can still add stimulus checks. You'll still have around, $250 billion to work with. In the CARES Act, it was listed in the CARES Act at $240 billion, although I think it ended up being around $300 billion. But even still, a lot, $250 billion. If you have to go over a little, you go over a little, but people get stimulus checks. Or make the requirements just a little bit different, maybe drop that requirement down a little bit and still give people stimulus checks, because that's something that people need. If you need to make it more targeted, make it more targeted, but people do need stimulus checks. So we'll have to see where it goes. So if we do have some more information, anything that's like they've reached a deal, I will come back and let you guys know about that. If you guys like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more. Also, comment down below, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.